Eagles Nation, we just got hit with a gut punch. One of our absolute cornerstone players, a Pro Bowl protector, is down. And right now, nobody knows if we're talking a few weeks or the entire season. This is the kind of injury update that can shake a locker room, test the depth chart, and have every fan holding their breath. And trust me, the play that caused it, you won't believe how it happened. Last night at Lincoln Financial Field, the vibe went from electric to tense in seconds. The Birds were closing out an intense open practice when, in the final 10 minutes, starting left guard Landon Dickerson, one of the absolute anchors of this offensive line, went down. He limped off, clearly in pain, before being carted to the locker room. Now, here's where things get complicated. According to the latest from ESPN's Adam Schefter, Dickerson is believed to have suffered a meniscus injury in his right knee. He's now going through further evaluation to figure out the exact damage and the treatment plan. And here's the tough part. With meniscus injuries, there is no simple, one-size-fits-all answer. The good news? It's not an Achilles or ACL tear, those would be season-ending on the spot. But the bad news? The timeline could still be anywhere from a month and a half to the rest of the year. It all depends on the type of tear and whether doctors go for a quick trim procedure or a full repair. For perspective, a meniscus trim could have Dickerson back in around 6 weeks, maybe by the end of September, missing only 4 games. But a repair? That's 4 to 6 months. That's November at the earliest. And if things are worse than expected, we could be talking about shutting him down for 2025. And there's another wrinkle here, Dickerson's injury history. He's torn both ACLs before. That makes the medical team's decision even more delicate because this isn't just about this season. It's about protecting the long-term health of one of the NFL's best guards. So how did it happen? Some fans started pointing fingers at rookie Jahad Campbell, thinking he caused the injury. But slow that down. On the replay, Dickerson actually passed Campbell off to Jordan Mailata, then accidentally stepped on Mailata's foot. That awkward step twisted his knee. A total freak accident. Nobody's fault. Right now, it's a waiting game. The team is sending him to multiple specialists for second opinions before deciding whether to operate. That means we may not get a definitive timeline for a few more days. But here's what's certain. Losing #69 is a serious blow. He's been key to the Eagles' run game dominance, especially paving lanes to the left for Saquon Barkley last season. The O-line is still elite without him, but there's no sugarcoating this, it changes things. Every fan in Philly is hoping for the short-term recovery, not the nightmare scenario. Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. How confident are you that Philly can hold strong without Landon Dickerson? Drop your thoughts in the comments and rate your confidence on a scale from 1 to 10. Let's see where the fan base really stands. With Landon Dickerson down, every Eagles fan has the same burning question: who steps up now? Right now, the clearest answer is a name you might not have thought about in a while. Matt Pryor. Yeah, that's right. The same Matt Pryor who was drafted by Philly back in 2018, the same guy who's bounced around the league, and the same guy who now has a golden chance to prove himself in midnight green once again. Technically, Pryor's more of a right guard by trade. But here's the plan: slide Tyler Steen from right to left guard, the way the Eagles did last season when Dickerson missed snaps, and plug Pryor in at right guard. The man has logged over 1,700 career snaps on the right side, compared to just over 100 on the left. In other words, he's not just familiar, he's experienced. Last year, he started 15 games for the Bears, holding down a struggling offensive line and even managing to earn a top 25 guard grade in the league. For a team that was falling apart around him, that's no small feat. Philadelphia saw that, and that's why they brought him home this offseason. And you can tell, Pryor wants this. In recent interviews, you can hear it in his voice. He's been through trades, releases, and endless competition. It's hardened him. He knows he's not here to be a placeholder. He's here to fight for every snap. Go back to that preseason opener against Cincinnati. He didn't just show up, he held his ground, especially in the run game. Sure, nobody is saying Pryor is Dickerson. Not even close. But this is the NFL. The next man up mentality isn't a choice, it's survival. Behind Pryor, the Eagles have a few more depth options: Brett Toth, Trevor Keegan, Darian Kinnard, and offseason trade pickup Kenyon Green still sidelined. But right now, none of them have shown enough in camp to take the lead. The bottom line? Unless something changes fast, Matt Pryor's about to step into one of the biggest shoes in the NFL, and the entire city will be watching. The Eagles still have time before week 1, but let's be real, the in-house options behind Landon Dickerson aren't exactly Howie Roseman's dream lineup, which means the door is wide open for a move. Some names being tossed around: Brandon Scherf, Shaq Mason, even a reunion with Jack Driscoll. But if you're asking me, there's one free agent that makes the most sense: Dalton Risner. Drafted by Vic Fangio in 2019, fresh off a strong 9-game stint with the Vikings, he allowed just one sack on nearly 400 pass blocking snaps. Over 4,500 career snaps at left guard. Proven. Durable. Exactly what you'd want in an emergency signing. But the Dickerson injury wasn't the only headline from Philly today, because 50,000 fans packed the link for an open practice that felt like a full-blown game night. The defense stole the show. The D-line continues to bully everything in sight: Gabe Hall, Moro Ojomo, the whole crew causing chaos. Credit to second-year D-line coach Clint Hurt for having this young group locked in this early. The play of the night? Nolan Smith pick 6. But it doesn't happen without Jair Campbell blasting through on a blitz, forcing Jalen Hurts into the errant throw. Campbell has been everywhere all camp, filling lanes, reading plays, flashing that scary mix of size and speed. If this keeps up, don't be surprised if he's starting week 1 versus Dallas. And let's not forget, Quinion Mitchell is looking like a shutdown CB1. Multiple lockdown reps against Devonta Smith. Confidence sky high. He's trending toward not just being Philly's best corner, but one of the best in the league. As for the CB2 battle, Adoree Jackson still gets first reps, with Kelly Ringo right there in the rotation. Neither made a big splash tonight, but Vic Fangio admitted he's been intentionally putting them in bad situations, calling aggressive coverages against elite WRs, just to see who can survive the fire. That's trial by fire, Fangio style. Bottom line, this camp has been physical, intense, and very revealing. And with Howie watching closely, don't be shocked if another move is coming soon. Look, nobody's making excuses for Adoree Jackson or Kelly Ringo after that rough showing against the Bengals. But let's be fair, would it have looked that bad if all the starters were out there, the calls were clean, and the middle linebacker was actually getting the right checks in? Hard to say. Glass half full version. Maybe we haven't seen their real ceiling yet. Then there's the newest name in the mix, Jacorian Bennett. Yes, social media went nuts when he got a few first-team reps Sunday night. But context matters. Most of his night was spent with the third unit, a few snaps with the twos, and only at the very end did he step in with the starters. Translation: he's still learning the system, and the depth chart spot isn't a real reflection yet. But if he's going to seriously push for a CB2 job, he's got to start climbing, and quickly, because week 1 is coming fast. Bennett himself? Still catching his breath after a whirlwind arrival, traded in the evening, on a red-eye, landed at dawn, barely slept. The speed's there, the coverage skills are there. Now it's about getting his feet under him and proving it on the practice field. Of course, the night wasn't all about the defense. The offense had its fireworks too, and Jahan Dotson keeps building his breakout case. The highlight? An absolutely filthy toe tap grab on the sideline that drew gasps from the 50,000 in attendance. Dotson's confidence is sky high. He's in year 2 of the system, the playbook feels second nature, and it shows: faster breaks, sharper routes, zero hesitation. Add in another full off-season with OTAs and training camp, and it's clear why he's on track for a major jump in 2025. And he's not alone. Devonta Smith, aka Smitty, quietly stacked another strong practice, proving that even with all the defensive hype, Philly's pass catchers are just as ready to make noise when the real games begin. If Jahan Dotson stole the highlight reel earlier, Devonta Smith might have stolen the entire night. On one jaw-dropping play, Jalen Hurts dropped an absolute dime over Cooper DeJean, and Smitty hauled it in for a beautiful touchdown. The crowd went nuts. It turned into a one-on-one showcase on the outside, Smith versus Quinion Mitchell, trading wins back and forth like two prize-fighters. Smith takes one. Quinion answers back. Repeat. You can't script better entertainment in camp. Truthfully, I don't know if Devonta can get much better than he's already been since arriving in Philly, but here we are, another dominant training camp, another reminder that he's one of the cleanest route runners in the league. My gut says 2025 is going to be massive for number 6. And yes, while the defense has owned most of camp so far, the offense is finding its groove. Sunday night, they moved the ball, they punched it in from the red zone, and they did it against one of the toughest defensive units in football. Hurts looked sharp, and this passing attack is getting tighter with every rep. Even Dallas Goedert admitted it. The chemistry's building, the run game is as strong as expected, and the pass game is heating up fast. It's still early, but the arrow's pointing straight up. Injury watch? Some good news. A.J. Brown and Zach Bond both went from out to limited at the open practice. Brown didn't do much in 11-on-11s, but just seeing him back on the field was a sigh of relief. If all goes well, he could be ready for the joint practices against Cleveland this week. Still, there's one cloud hanging over camp: Landon Dickerson's injury. No official timeline yet. Best case? 6 weeks. Worst case? 6 months. That's a huge swing, and until we know more, every fan in Philly is holding their breath. Bottom line, this is still a dangerous Eagles team. The talent's there. The chemistry is coming together. But staying healthy between now and week 1 is non-negotiable. One injury is manageable. A wave of them? That's how seasons get derailed. So here's to hoping, no, praying, that the Birds make it through the rest of camp in one piece. Week 1 is coming fast. Let's get there with everyone suited up and ready to make a run.